Good morning, everyone. Welcome to FMOC Day. FOMC Day. I don't know if we're going to take any trades or not. We'll have to see. I mean, if the market behaves or not. I mean, it's generally ill-advised to be trading before that announcement, and we may find out that it's real choppy. So if you've got better things to do, I would suggest that you go and do them, and we'll see you back here after the announcement. I'll probably go ahead and go live. If this thing doesn't do anything, we'll probably cut this stream short, and then we'll come back around 1:45 Eastern time, and we'll watch the FOMC announcement and then see if we can take some trades after that. But so far the morning session has been moving pretty well. You notice this trade here, I almost took it, but I was setting things up and I wasn't concentrating. But you see that this was a nice pullback to the 9 EMA, and then we could have went short here and picked up a couple points. This time in the morning, I don't think that you'll generally be too lucky getting 5 points. ATR is only 1.15, so maybe 2 times ATR, and you can see that would have got you. We would have went in here at 76.25, and that took it down to like 2.25. So yeah, so it's about 2 times ATR. So that would have been a good trade. I did not take it. Even though I didn't take any trades during the stream yesterday, I ended up screwing around the rest of the day and ended up 500 something bucks up, but it took the entire day. But there was some pretty good opportunities there. I think I might actually start recording when I trade off stream, so I can actually put those up as small videos, because I know people look at it like, oh, he took no trades or he lost money during the live stream, and then all of a sudden he reports he made 500 bucks afterwards, and I've got no reason to lie. What do I care? I mean, I get nothing from this live broadcast or his live stream, so there's no reason for me to lie one way or the other. But anyway, the market's going to open in about 4 minutes, so we'll just buckle up and wait for that to happen. Right now, I mean, I don't know, nothing looks that unusual. It looks like pretty decent price action. We'll see what happens once the New York markets open, and we'll see if we just sort of chop around the, if yesterday morning was any indication, that's exactly what's going to happen here. But we'll have to see. I mean, I would say your best traders, your best sources for trading information will tell you that to just avoid this whole morning of an FOMC. But, we have to keep moving forward. At the very least, we'll watch what happens. And if it turns out to be a dud, we'll cut it short and come back this afternoon. But I will, we're getting close to the open, so I'll get my coffee after the open. All right, so got a couple minutes to go. I'm sorry, I'm just sort of setting things up for the stream, making sure everything's working properly. I'll take a quick look of the overnight. Let's see here. This is the open here. It looks like that was pretty close to a measured move on the 5-minute. And then we kind of skyrocketed up. It's a nice little area of consolidation, isn't it? So you could have played that. Those are always nice. You see this consolidation here. So when it pulled back and came back to it, it bounced off. Although typically, I mean, well, you can do that because this is an area of, let's see here. So that would be an area of supply. Wait, is that right? Area of demand. So it shot up out of it. So when we come back to it, we're assuming that all these buys didn't get filled. So they came back to see if they can get those fills. And you see that's exactly what happened. Boy, that's a big bar. So it bounced into it, got those fills, and immediately rocketed back down. Interesting. Of course, that's a 5-minute candle, so we'll have to take a look at what that looks like on the 1 minute. Yeah, same thing. I wonder what that is a lot of movement. Markets are open now. What time was that? Oh, there was some news at, no, that's 7:15. The news, I think, was at 7:30. I'm not sure what that big spike is here. All right, let's keep an eye on this and see what she says. Mm-hmm. Watch it for the first 10 minutes or so and see what that looks like. All the EMAs starting to bunch up together, so we'll have to see what happens there. They're going to need to fan out a bit before we take any trades. I've grown to like these trades off of overnight lows and highs. Like if we were to get up here, I wouldn't mind taking a short off of that. That's a pretty consistently strong trade. Basically, I'm thinking that it goes through it, and then we set our limit order back on the downside of it. Maybe a few ticks up to maybe a point. Let's say if this was, now this is both the open and the high, so it basically opened here and just immediately started to work its way down a bit. So anyway, so we're looking at about 86, so you maybe go in at 85, 84 and a half, but after it does its thing north of it, we'll take it back down. But we're a bit ways away from that right now. Only 10 points, but still, right now you can see these wicks are just starting to form kind of how we expected. No trades here. I mean, we have, let's take a look at our 3-minute. I got to reset my volume profile here to February 1st. Okay, so you can see that we're caught in a pretty tight range here, and we're likely to stay there. I don't even know if the normal things that we would normally trade even will work with this FOMC announcement looming above our heads. So we'll just watch. Let's take a quick look at crude oil. It doesn't really have anything to do with FOMC as far as I know. Yeah, this would have been a nice pullback, but it really did fail, didn't it? Well, it never yeah, it would have. It would have filled you like right there and then reversed on you. Yeah, that was a loser right there if you took it. But you can see it's moving a little more orderly than ES because it's not really bound to that FOMC stuff. I have to learn more about crude anyway because at 8 o'clock Central, there's usually like crude inventories or something, but I don't think it's every single day, but they do that, and then things will, taking a trade at 8 can really go against you or for you. I mean, it'll move rapidly at 8 a.m. Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. I don't think that that's what happened here, but I could be wrong. We don't have a lot of trades that would have worked out here. A lot of these don't even have much, it just sort of rode the 9 EMA. Yeah, this guy here, this is not too bad. And you would have went short right here, and you could have rode that thing all the way down. All right, well, let's go back to our ES and see what she's doing. Nothing. Bit of a double bottom here. Consolidation down over here. Let's draw this out. I guess this would be supply area. Dipped into it once, dipped into it twice. Rejected it. Could have taken that long for a couple points. Let's see what we could have got here. Yeah, we're already up to almost 3. 5 would be way up here. But some of those supply and demand ones are probably better off taken for, maybe 10 ticks, which of course you would have got easily. It's a little bit earlier for me, early in the day for me to take a trade, but I don't know if there's any good reason for that. I mean, 10 minutes is just arbitrary. Got another Apex evaluation about to wrap it up. I'm hoping maybe today, although I'm a little bit worried about screwing it up by trading it on the morning of FOMC, so I may or may not take a trade. I only need about $175. I think I need about 10 ticks to finish that one. I've completely just turned off my actual PA accounts today because I do not want to blow one of those up. Trading, strictly working on evals today if I take any trades at all. That was definitely a very reasonable trade here. It's sort of like, I've heard guys, use the expression of, rhythm of the market. And it really, you can kind of, like here, this just looks like noise, doesn't it? It doesn't look, like a rhythm. I mean, you can see where we have these nice little movements that are nice and smooth, almost like a sine wave. And then you get into this just static. So there are definitely days where guys will. I do take sort of exception to the fact when guys say, "Oh, today was such an easy trading day." Well, it just means that you're just doing the same thing that you do every day, but it worked today, in my opinion. That's what constitutes their easy day. Is like I took the same trades yesterday and they didn't work, and today they did work. So today was an easy trading day. And I guess that's reasonable. But what they really mean is that the market was in rhythm. It was doing the things that you expect it to do. And yesterday it didn't. So, but we shall see what we shall see. Right now, the only trade I saw was this pullback into liquidity, and we bounced out of it pretty nicely. It was a retest. Let's see if we tap into here. We'll probably go short on a rejection of today's open, which is, I don't think there was a gap. Well, yeah, just based on this, I would say there's no gap. That's the overnight open and the high. We could take a look. Maybe we'll look on the 5-minute if there was a gap. This is right here. Okay, so let's take a look. Does not appear that there was a gap. So that'd be my next interest, would be if we touch yesterday's or today's open or overnight open, the 6 o'clock Eastern open from last night, and see if they reject it. Other than that, we're just watching for the usual suspects. But you can see, like, all these EMAs are bunched up here. So, I don't really think that would be, just even push pullbacks to it. I don't think those are going to work because of, you kind of would like to see those fanned out a little bit and give you an idea that we are moving in one direction or the other. Right now, I see a whole lot of nothing. Let's take a look at some of our price action charts, like the 2000 EMA. This, of course, is a higher high, but realistically, these are just kind of bunched up here. These overnights are a lot of wicks, boy. Well, as I said, it's very likely we won't even take any trades, and we may even cut this short. But I will be back, and I will stream live at, maybe 1:45, something like that, 1:50. So we'll watch the FOMC live and see how that goes, and maybe trade the rest of the afternoon until the close at 4 Eastern. But we'll give this, a bit of time to see if anything happens. And as I said, I don't think there's too many traders that you trust that will condone trading the morning of FOMC anyway. Luckily, I am not one of the traders that you can trust. As I always say, do not copy my trades. And this is a perfect example. I am trading the morning of FOMC day. Maybe. But look, we have VWAP. We've got the 20 EMA, the 9 EMA. I think that red is the 105. I mean, they're all just bunched together. We need to get away from those for a while before we can trade this, I think. My hunch is, and this is just a hunch, is that we're going to tend to be bullish because I think people are kind of counting on language to the effect of only another, maybe today. There certainly will be a rate increase today by the FOMC, and maybe they'll put out language to indicate that maybe in one more, something like that. And I think that's going to start driving the bulls a bit, but that is just pure speculation. But it seems reasonable. So, maybe we look for something, let's see, split the difference here. Oops. We get up into here. And look for rejection of this area and then go short. In the community section, I posted a picture of my stream deck that I talked about on the stream yesterday, where, albeit, I guess it's a little pricey, although I've seen the Stream Deck version 1 for like $99, refurbished by Amazon. But it's the 15-button version, and you can just program the buttons. And everyone knows about the Stream Deck, but you can, obviously you can put anything from a photograph to moving images to anything you want on those buttons. So I set it up for basically the buttons that you would use for trading on NinjaTrader, buy market, sell market, buy ask, sell ask, buy the bid, sell the bid, flatten everything. And I put them on the Stream Deck. And if you trade using those type of markers, as opposed to putting limit orders and things like that, it's kind of handy. And of course you can have multiple pages on that thing, so you can use it for other stuff too. But I put a picture on the community section if you want to take a quick look at it. If anything, I guess it's just a novelty. I don't know that I would call it life-changing. In fact, I probably don't even use it because I do occasionally just buy straight into a market where they're, with a buy the bid or a market order. But typically you'll see me, just putting my limit orders in Like for instance, FOMC, I've seen guys that use market orders to get in on those, and it just seems like the slippage on that would be so crazy that you could get destroyed. Well, I shouldn't say could. I've gotten destroyed many times on news. But it's a flip of the coin. I mean, I think the best strategy is to wait for the initial move and then try to catch the reversal on it. Because sometimes the reversals are more aggressive than the initial move. So a good one simple rule of thumb is after it makes its initial move, either just eyeball it or use your Fibonacci lines, retracements to get back to about 50%, and then go long, or just try to see when it's going to or go long or go the opposite direction of the initial move. Am I making any sense? When it makes the initial move, wait for a 50% retracement and then go in the direction of the initial move, or wait till it starts to flounder at the top and then take it in the opposite direction. You see why I say I'm not an instructor here. I need an instructor is what I need. We are getting close to that overnight high. Let's see what happens here. We'll break into here, and then maybe we'll take a short down here. Let's see, let it do its thing. I got my sell order in there. We're going to see if that works or not. I'm going to try to keep a tight stop on that. It does look pretty bullish, doesn't it? I'm going to dump that. It's looking a little bullish here. Let's give it a little bit more time to see what she wants to do. Still only about 1 point above the high. Now we're getting to a point where these EMAs are starting to track up anyway, so even if we did get in here, we're going to be bumping right up into the 9 EMA, which kind of tells me that we're not going to be able to make much of a run down anyway. running pretty good here. I do like these trades off of this 105 EMA, which is basically just a play on the 21 EMA on the 5 minute. Suppose you could, look for second entries off of that 21 EMA on a 5 minute. I've never done the two-legged pullback thing on the 5 minute chart. It's always on the 2000 tick chart. And right now I'm not seeing any second entries. Yeah, we're just moving up. Everything looking pretty bullish here. There's some rejection now. But again, we'd be going short directly into these EMAs. If anything, I'd be more inclined to go long at this point. Bar's a little bit big, but you could consider going long here at about 88. This bar's got a ways to go until it closes, another 30 seconds. But that is about a 4-point bar. And I usually like to keep my stop at no more than 3 on this first entry long. But the more conservative play is the second entry long off of the 21 EMA on a 2000 tick chart. That was a second entry short here. It actually gave you your points. Now we could take a shot here. That would be at 87 3/4. But we are like so close to the top of this day. I think I'm going to pass. There's about 2 points to the high of the day. So we would be in there 87 3/4. So that would have filled us right there. Everything certainly looks bullish here. Five points is way the heck up here. Something's holding it up here. At 91 is certainly going to be an area of resistance. 91. We're at about 87 now. Yeah. There's just not enough room to get anything decent. Let's just keep our eye on it. Wow. Ooh, man, I am negligent here. Was there news at 9 or at 10? 9 Central? What day is today? Today's the 1st. Oh my God, yeah, that was important stuff here. That was manufacturing PMI, job openings report, and the job openings report. Wow, that was almost a fatal mistake. I'm so focused on the FOMC, I wasn't even thinking that there was other news this morning. Usually that's the first thing I check every morning. I'm refreshing to see what those numbers were. PMI came out lower than expected, marginally by 0.6, lower than expected. Which, if anything, it shows, it may show the Fed that their tightening is starting to work at least. So while for the economy that is not a great thing, even though it really wasn't that much lower than expected, it may be good for the Fed as far as to stop their tightening. All right, so then job openings actually increased, which is again good for the economy, I suppose, if we have the people to take those jobs. But on the other hand, as far as the Fed is concerned, that may be a sign that they need to continue to tighten. I'm not an economist, so I don't know, but that's the general layman's analysis of that, I think. Man, I'm glad I didn't get into that trade, although I would have had a 3-point stop, but still. All right, let's give that a couple minutes to simmer and see what she wants to do now with that information. Yeah, this is always halfway decent trade too, and you could have even done it with that news. It happened awful fast though, but you know, this 105 EMA, which is the 21 EMA on the 5, hits off of that more often than not will result in a few points for you. Like you could go long here, but you know, it works until it doesn't work. You know, eventually it will break through. You see right in this area here. But you can see there is a big wick here, so it did break down. So you could have easily gotten a point or two. Yeah, even with this, you know, bullish move through it, you would have gotten let's call it 78. Yeah, that's almost 3 points. So, but look at that. We are pretty close to news, so I wouldn't probably recommend taking it anyway, just because the news is still settling in, I believe. And we're getting a lot of hits down here at this area. That rejected this area so quickly you couldn't even make a decision as to whether you wanted to go long or not. We are still pushing down for sure. case you're just tuning in, we're gonna stay with this stream until it looks like there's no movement. And whether we take trades or not, I don't know. But we'll stay with it as long as there's some price action, and we'll either take it till 11 Eastern or cut it short, whichever, depending on how the market looks. But I will be back again streaming live at about 10 or 15 minutes before FOMC, so that'd be about 145, 150 Eastern time. I believe the FOMC news will hit at 2 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll trade till close and see how she looks. This is an interesting setup, possibly for a short. I don't know how convincing it is. The short would be at 78.5. Gets us back into this range, so it actually does fit. And it is winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Didn't get the 5 points yet, but looks like we're going to. I hope somebody was able to cash in on that. That was a nice little trade. Didn't quite make the 5 points though. I don't know if it will or not. Missed it by a couple ticks. Probably was best to get out of that trade in that blue zone anyway. See if it gets that 5 points. And there she is. 5 points. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I need like a bell. I think I could actually set that up with the Stream Deck too, with a bell or a buzzer for losers. Well, I hope somebody made some money off of that. And actually, the reverse trade of that would have been pretty decent too, because you see there's a lot of rejection here. So you could have gone north here at 74.75 and took it up. already 3.5 points. 5. Yeah, 5 still below the 21 EMA, so 79.5 would be our 5 points. So that was a nice little double opportunity. There you go. There's your 5 points. We took it off on the rejection, the pullback and rejection of the 9 EMA. And then we got down to our little blue line going long, pick up another 5 points in the opposite direction back into the 21 EMA. And then you're done for the day, baby. That is, $500 points per contract, $500 per contract. You got 10 accounts on Apex. That's $5,000, my friend. Just do that once a month and you've got a nice $60,000 a year salary. Working 1 day a month. Tricky part is doing that every day, isn't it? Speaking of Apex, if you're interested in opening up a funded account and you decide that you want to go with Apex, I would appreciate it if you use my little coupon code there. You'll get half off for their posted prices there. And, I get a little something. I think maybe, I think they said 15% of whatever it is that you pay for it. And it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps the stream out a little bit. I always use the 50,000 or what they call the 50K accounts, which only really just means that you get a $2,500 drawdown. And to qualify, you have to make $3,000 on that account, and then you become funded. And anything you make on that is yours after you're funded. Up to, I think the first $25,000 you make on that is all yours. And then after that, I think they want to split it with you. You keep 90% and they take 10%. But again, if you decide that that's something you're interested in, I'd appreciate if you use my coupon code. Or do you say coupon? Or is it coupon? Either way. Well, we had at least 2 opportunities here. I had one opportunity to get destroyed because of my negligence to pay attention to the news. Luckily, I did not, because this was the trade I was thinking about right here. So I would have been long at 87.75. It was only about a point or so to get on that, and then the news came out, and whammo, there goes your trade. And if you're lucky, you got out with your 3-point stop. But, when things move that fast, sometimes they'll jump right over it and you'll get a fill much lower because things move so fast that you get huge slippage. So you could have ended up losing a hell of a lot more than 3 points on that trade by not paying attention to the news. Now, the other opportunity that could have been is, remember we talked about taking rejection of that high of the day, what we could, or even the overnight open, which are basically one and the same today. Put your sell a couple ticks below that opening overnight, and you would have been in this trade and you would have got your 5 points before you could blink your eye. $5 points. I mean, heck, there's 5. It was only about a little more than half that move. It's actually halfway decent movement for a FOMC morning. does look like we're kind of losing the energy now. EMAs are starting to bunch up again on us. They started to fan out kind of decently here. But those were two good trades. Probably we could count this one as a third good setup, even though it was sort of polluted by the news at 10 o'clock. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I'm not used to people actually writing stuff in the chat yet, but how you doing? I'm glad that you were able to join us. I think what I'm gonna have to do is I've got the chat box too far to my right. I'm watching my screens on my left shoulder, and the streaming stuff is over to the right. So I need to figure out a way to get the chat closer to my line of sight. Boy, that really dumped, didn't it? Moved above the 21 EMA. We're sort of expecting maybe a reversal pattern here. This is a little bit tight, but if we draw our lines here, we had a break of this channel and a new low, and then we broke above the 21 EMA, so we sort of expected to see a reversal pattern here, but what we're seeing is the opposite. Heading back down again. We've had a lot of hits on this area. I don't know that I trust it anymore. You know, once you get, at least in my opinion, once you're getting multiple hits on it, eventually it's going to break through and head down. This is our overnight low from 6 p.m. last night. We'll see. This may be the end of price action for the morning. I think the only thing that brought this up was the news in the first place. It sort of started things moving. The volume, picked up because of the news, and now that's diminishing. You can see all the volume for the day is taking place in this area here. Even just look at our value area, 6-7 points. Basically sitting right on top of point of control. EMAs are all bunching together here. This is a 3-minute chart. Higher low here with some nice long wicks. Nothing really tradable though. Yeah, even these were not second entries. These are just, they were lower highs. So you could have traded off of those, I suppose. And now we're just stuck right here. Point of control at 77 and a quarter. Now we're at the top of the range, top of the value area, I should say. That is amazingly tight area. MACD is showing bearishness for whatever that's worth. Volume is definitely dipping down now. It spiked at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock Eastern, and it's been going down ever since. That play off the high and the open, more importantly, yesterday's open, or the 6 o'clock open, is a little more clear when you look at it like a 3-minute or a 5-minute, isn't it? So we had like 2 hits here and then a drop. Yeah, that would have been a nice trade. First attempt, second attempt, right through it. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to see. Move along, move along. Not sure how I feel about playing this low again. Well, this liquidity area of demand, I guess that would be. We've had at least 3 hits off of it, so I do worry that it'll finally break through it. Although we are heading for the low of the overnight low too. Which is also not a bad, same principle as we had for the overnight high, we could apply to the overnight low as well. But when you put, sort of look at the big picture here, what's really happening is not much, is it? Just a bunch of wicky little bars trading sideways. Look at those EMAs. They're all right on top of each other. So that's pretty much equilibrium, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing to trade here. Any chances we had, we already saw with this move. Unless we can pull back into this area, then maybe we have something to try to pick up a couple points on a rejection of the low of the day, overnight low. This may be all we see until this afternoon now. I will be back again. We'll either ride this thing through until 11 o'clock Eastern, and then I'll return, or if this stays like this, maybe we'll cut her short and go have some food and get ready for this afternoon's trading. Because right now it's not looking like much is going to happen. This is what Al Brooks would call barbed wire. Lots of candles with stems at both sides, just trading sideways. I mean, everything is just bunched up here. All the EMAs from 9 all the way to 100. Value area is small. All the volume's taking place in this area. This is, you'll just chop the pieces trying to trade this crap. Right now, I think the only thing that we can hope for is maybe another play off of the either the opening, overnight open, overnight high, or overnight low, if it should break one way or another. Now, there may be those who would want to even just play this breakout going in one direction or another, but that's not really for me. There's a lot of resistance here, isn't there? At about 84. But it doesn't look like it wants to even leave this range. And there are price action traders that might play this as a trading range, but you can see it's very disorderly. Typically, you'd want to see a nice kind of a sine wave type action to, be truly tradable. This is just kind of a feather in the wind right now. It's 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. I find as I slowly mature as a trader that I find it easier to stay out of this kind of choppy stuff. I mean, I definitely would trade that in the past. Let's see if we're getting a breakout here. That's a higher high, of course, but it's all wick and came right back into this range. Actually, it wants to move up, doesn't it? Not sure if I would be. I guess I would be more confident in a test of the high of the day as opposed to yesterday's open. You might be able to get a point of rejection or so from the opening, but you can see we did breach it once, so that may not be meaningful anymore. But we have not tested the high yet. This was just a double top, so I think if we got up here, we could probably get a couple points of rejection. But it still hasn't even breached this range that we mapped out earlier. Keeps trying, but it just wicks back in. This one may actually close outside. We got 2 seconds left on that bar. All right, so we officially closed outside of that range. But back she comes. Just none of this stuff is good setup. Nothing you can rely on, in my opinion. We've left our value area, which was extremely tight to begin with. 81 to 75, like 6-7 point range here. Even just the opening range from it's basically the same thing. We opened here, and that was our high, and then we just spent most of the time right. Let's see, here's our open at 8:30. So 76, now we're at 83, so like 7 points off of the opening. This is slow, baby. And we're back in the range. Now I don't think there's enough room between, not enough space between these bars and the 9 EMA to be thinking about along off of it. But what I do like is that at least the EMAs are starting to fan out a bit, so maybe with a little time something will set up. I'm not confident enough in this pullback. I mean, this really didn't run up that much. pulled right back into our little range. This red line here has been holding pretty much all morning. That is the, if you look on the 5-minute chart, that's the 21 EMA, and it's been wicking off of that all morning. You could take a long off of that at 82. $81.5 once this bar closes, maybe. And you can see it did reject it. This bar still has 30 seconds left on it. So 81.5 would be your long. See if we can get something out of that, or it's just going to reject off the 9. We'll put our stop a tick below there. This was a borderline boredom trade because just getting sick of looking at it, but I think a rejection of that 105 EMA may or may not work. I mean, that's my thought on the subject. We'll keep our stop relatively tight here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to take it out. We'll see. That EMA has been holding most of the morning. We'll see if it continues to hold. Hey there, G for Jeff. Good to see you. Where are you tuning in from? See if this trade gets up any momentum here, if it's just going to get stuck. May just bail on it. It was, like I said, it wasn't a terrible setup, except we're in a lot of congestion here, but we'll see. We just we have our take profit at 2.5 points. What is the ETR 2 point? Yeah, so this it has enough room to go, but we're just getting chopped up here. We were actually in the money briefly there. Probably were too ambitious to try to get the 2.5 points, because that would have had taken us all the way up to the top of that recent pivot high. And looks like she's just dumping now. We'll leave our stop there just because, for safety purposes. Especially, we have no idea where this is going. This is already just a bad trade. It's probably best to just bail on it at break even, but these are just eval accounts today. I'm not trading any of my PAs until maybe after FOMC this afternoon. So if we lose a few points on this, it's no big deal. And we are stopped out. That was about $140. Again, it was an ill-advised trade anyway. I'm just trying to keep busy here. But we were actually briefly in the money. We probably should have just stuck to, on a day like today, just try to get these 1-point scalps. At this point, might as well stick with it for the next 15 minutes and get the whole stream in. Yep, I'm glad that we took our stop on that one. Oh, we're breaking down at below the this range again. Will we get to a new low on the day? That's the question. I'm going to have a hard time stopping myself from taking a long off of this overnight low. But once again, I'm strictly playing my evaluation accounts. No PAs this morning. Man, this is a tight range, isn't it? perfect day to get chopped up, that's for sure. But I think we do okay on this overnight low. If we get to it. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on this area here so far. Going back to 9 o'clock Eastern. The times you see on my charts are Central Time because I'm in the Chicago metro area. That's Central Time. We had a spike pretty close to the low of the day. I better check my chart. The news. Make sure there's no more news coming up today. Nope, nothing until the FOMC statement at 2 o'clock Eastern. So that wick had nothing to do with news. Okay, now this is interesting. Let's give it a chance to do something here. Then I'm going to try a long here. Hopefully that won't bite me in the ass, but we will try it. Move that up just a bit. That's breaking through pretty convincingly, isn't it? Wow. Let me warn y'all, don't copy my trades. You will get wrecked. Could be a measured move right there. The other option is maybe we start our measurement here. I'm going to pull that order. We've moved far beyond the low of the day. I could look at a bigger picture measured move, like all the way back to here. I don't think that this is legit. We'll stick with our smaller one here. We had one here. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't even slow down for that overnight low. That's why you have to wait for that rejection. I mean, because if you just decided to go long when it hit the low of the day, you would have got wrecked here into the order of about 7 points. Although presumably you would have left that trade long before that. We might be bumping into an area of consolidation from last night, or no, this was actually yesterday during the regular trading hours. Right in here. That's around noon, 1 o'clock Eastern. This isn't really a clean pullback, but I am a little bit tempted to take a short here. The low of that is 68, so 67 and 3/4 would possibly be your short once this bar closes, but this is really just into some sideways chop, so I'm going to skip it. Although everything does look pretty bearish here. It's not the cleanest trade, but we'll give it a shot. I'm just going to take that. That generated about $60, so that gets us down to about, we're down 83. Should have stuck with it and got my full 2.5 points, I suppose. Kind of bailed on it, playing my P&L here. Where do we get in there? Right there. So 2.5 would have been, just touched it. We wouldn't have gotten filled. Maybe up. Then we got filled. Oh well. And that brings us to 11 a.m. So I'm going to wrap this up for now. If you want to join me again, I'm going to go back live at about 1:45, 1:50 Eastern. And we're going to watch the FOMC announcement, and we'll trade until the New York close at 4 p.m. All right, well, that's it. So we will see you later on this afternoon. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Bye, guys.